I don't know if the stars are aligning or the moon is aligning or what, but I've had several of my clients in conversations telling me that they feel stuck, they feel frustrated, they're not able to come up with ideas. They're really struggling to come up with ideas for their business or even how to move their team forward. This podcast is for introvert leaders and entrepreneurs who want to grow their impact and their income without compromising their peace. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. In this episode, I am going to break down one possibility of why nothing is flowing and what could be happening underneath the surface. Because for us, it's not always about working harder. It's about understanding how our mental and our emotional state can impact our ability to think, to create, to solve problems, to be consistent. Yes, we're going to talk about things like perfectionism and overthinking and even emotional clarity. If you're building an online business, if you're leading a team, and you're trying to grow without burnout, this episode will help you reset and move forward with more clarity. My question for you is your hose kinked? See what I mean when you tune into this episode. Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast, where we nurture the journey of introverts who desire to achieve greater levels of influence, income, and impact. The go-to podcast for introvert achievers just like you, seeking purpose-driven growth. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. You ever been so frustrated? You said, I'm so mad I can't think straight, and everything tenses up. That's not just a figure of speech. That's a signal. And it really is a diagnosis because literally you cannot. You may have heard me ask the question at the end of the introduction of, okay, why aren't things flowing? And I asked the question, is your hose kinked? When our nervous system is charged, you're thinking narrow. So literally when you say, I'm so mad I can't think straight, options shrink, creativity drops, solutions disappear, and then we do something interesting, don't we? We try harder. We think harder. We sit there, we're pushing, we're stewing, we're stewing, we're stirring, we're forcing, we're trying to solve problems when our mind is not available to solve the problem. It has gone into a whole nother state, a kinked state. Let me take you back. I grew up in a small town in Georgia. We had to be outside in the summer all the time. I'm not kidding. It was wake up, get your clothes on, go outside. What do you do when you get thirsty and you're outside? You better not even try to go in the house. Not in my grandmother's house. We drank from the hose. Probably breaks all the rules now, but we drank from the hose. Not the sanitized hose, the hose that had been laying in the yard. No judgment. But yes, we drank from the hose. In the summertime, you have to let the hot water run out. You don't go and just pick it up, turn it on, and go. No, you let the hot water run out, and then the cool water flows behind it. But here's what I remember. Sometimes the hose would get kinked. It would be twisted. And no matter how much you pulled with that kink, the water was barely coming out. Just a weak little trickle. And here's the thing. We saw the kink and still we pull on the hose and we hold it up and we wonder why isn't any water coming out? That is what you're doing when you're frustrated and the ideas aren't coming. Your hose is kinked. Something is blocking the flow. So you're trying to force a flow in a block system. There is resistance. And then top it off, you want to make it mean something. I'm stuck. I'm not creative. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. No, doesn't mean any of those things. We all have that. We all get that. We all get that little kink. So here's some things I want to walk you through to Be able to do some practical resets. I don't want you to pull harder. I wanted you to first think about some really simple things that you can do. You realize your energy is blocked, ideas aren't flowing, and you just cannot move forward. First thing I want you to do is it starts with a B. It's called breathe. It is necessary. One of the things we say in my workout class is breathing is not optional. I want you to pay attention to your breath. Step away from the problem. Do something else. I don't care. Run around the house, jump up and down. Hum. Humming is amazing for resetting the vagus nerve. Get in a different environment. I work from home and I have an office upstairs. When I say I'm working from home, I actually go down and I'll work at the kitchen table because my office is that's going to work. Change your state. How do you change your state? Music, listening to something else, taking a break, going outside, getting fresh air. All of those things are able to help you unkink the hose. Because it doesn't matter how much pressure and how much you pull on the kink, unless I went to the kink and moved something, it was still going to be there. So clarity doesn't come from more pulling, more pressure. It's going to come from you actually releasing it. Now, let me go one layer deeper. Because sometimes it's not just a momentary kink. Sometimes you build a whole system that keeps your hose built and tied up in knots. It's this thing called perfectionism. I know. I hear when I talk to entrepreneurs who are hesitant to try something new and different, even though a proven system works, because they don't want to do it wrong. I see this in my leaders when I share with them a checklist that I have and I encourage them to do something and move forward. It's a hesitation. Perfection is not possible. Perfection is not excellence. It's fear in a nice outfit. Fear of getting it wrong, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. So you stall. You overthink, you hesitate. And then you call it, I just have high standards. No, it's fear in a nice outfit. But what you're really doing is you're restricting flow. Perfectionism sets the bar so high that you never actually move because the bar is so high. So now you're not just kinked in a moment, you built in a long term kink. Now you're sitting there, you're cranky, you're tight, and you're overthinking everything. Trying to create, you got a scrunch face, closed fist. Oh, that is not how the flow works. So here's some things that you can do to release the hold of perfectionism. And then I call these anchors. First one is, who are you comparing to? You're comparing you to you. You're comparing you to the version of you last time. You are not designed to keep up with other people. You were never called to keep up with other people. When we look at social media still, and social media has been around a while, it's still a highlight reel. It's not a measuring system. Stay in your lane. One of the things that I do is I track the real stuff, the numbers. How many conversations have I had? How many people have I added to my email list? How many new people have I connected with? Real things. I'm not comparing that to anyone else. Compare me to me. A second thing you can do to anchor yourself is laugh. Laugh more than you judge. It doesn't even have to be funny. If it didn't go how you planned, laugh. Not fake positivity. I'm not talking about that, but laugh. It's perspective. Wow, that didn't quite go like I expected it to. Because when you laugh, your body loosens up. Try it right now. Just laugh. Laugh at me. I don't care. I can't see you. When you laugh, your body loosens up and your mind opens, and you're able to move that system of perfectionism, that kink, move that out of the way. The other anchor I will give you is practice self acceptance. You're not a finished product. Well, if you are, I feel sorry for you because you really messed up and you don't know it. But you're not a finished product, you're a process. Trying to control every single outcome so you can feel safe and accepted and approved. That's a kink. You are allowed to be a mess and a masterpiece at the same time. And if you're around people who don't allow that, move. If you don't have a community that supports you being in that space of mess and masterpiece, of teacher and student, move. That's a kink. If you're not in that space, you're actually trying to squeeze yourself into this perfection box that doesn't even matter. So the next time nothing is flowing, before you question your ability, before you question your decisions, before you question your consistency, before you start spiraling into frustration, I want you to ask yourself this question: where is the kink? And then I want you to go fix it. Not by forcing, but by identifying, applying some of the principles I've shared with you. This is a simple episode. This is a do something now episode. Not by forcing, but actually releasing. If this is the kind of work you're ready to do and you want to do it in a community, not by pushing harder, by flowing differently, that's what we do inside the Introvert Achievers Network. We have structure, we have systems, we have clarity. It's a safe space to identify, oh, I had a kink, but I don't anymore. To deal with overthinking, to deal with procrastination, to deal with those things that keep you from moving forward. Like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a place where you can be a mess and a masterpiece, a student and a teacher at the same time, you need to find a different space. I encourage you to check out the Introvert Achievers Network. Information's in the show notes. Let me know what you liked about this episode. Drop a comment, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.